Hello, everyone, and welcome to Grace Game Day. I'm Preston Proctor. With me is Josh McElhaney, and we are back for another school year and excited about just the new year. It brings a lot of changes and challenges and excitement and all the new stuff with a new school year, and we're here. And one of the things that a new school year does bring is the reality that football is back. And with us today is Coach Fleet. Coach Fleet is the head coach of the Grace Cougars football team. And so we're so excited. Coach Fleet, thank you for your time today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
And so we're going to dive right in, guys. It's football season. This is week one. And so we are looking forward to Friday night when we have the first regular season game of this season. Coach Fleet, after getting through two scrimmages now, what did you learn about this football team after the two scrimmages that you didn't know about them going in?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's something that absolutely surprised me that I didn't know at all, because these guys have put a lot into the offseason starting back in February, and they've proven the kind of grit and excitement they have for this season. And so I think our two scrimmages really just reinforced what we already knew about this group of guys, and they're a really special group of guys. Special team. They have a lot of love for one another. They enjoy being together. And if you look back in history of some of the greatest teams of all time, that unity is a common thread that you see in some of the great dynasties in sports history.
Yeah.
And so that's something we put a premium on starting back even in February. And it's something that we continued to see with excitement from the sideline and guys playing fast with high effort. And that's kind of our calling card as we talk about we want to max out every moment. Whether that's on the football field, we're giving our absolute best effort because what we believe is that whatever skills or abilities, however great or little that is, that the Lord has bestowed on us, we need to maximize those for His ultimate glory. And so that could be on the football field, the classroom, in the weight room, whatever we're doing, we're just seeking to max out. And these guys, we weren't surprised by it because they've been doing it, but they absolutely brought great energy and effort to both scrimmages and saw a lot of improvement between scrimmage 1 and scrimmage 2 as well. So we're ready to get going.
Awesome. It's hard sometimes to really quantify the progress through the summer, weight room, the practices, the film, until you really get on the field. And then that first scrimmage, getting the rust shaken off of real contact and real football. But now having two scrimmages under your belt, is there something that you look at from scrimmage 1 to scrimmage 2 that says, man, these guys get it, there's been this level of growth in just that short amount of time as you prepare for the regular season?
Yeah, I think some of the greatest growth happens between scrimmage 1 and scrimmage 2, the first live action you get against an opponent, not just yourselves. You typically see a lot of growth between game 1 and game 2 in the same way. And so, we had a great opportunity to scrimmage Alva Golden in our first scrimmage, and for a first scrimmage, all things considered, looked pretty sharp and executed pretty well. Still a first scrimmage. There's a lot of mistakes and good film we get to clean things up. And then we had the opportunity to host Dangerfield, which was a fast, athletic team. And you know what? We're going to see some fast, athletic teams this year. And so it was absolutely intentional that we scheduled a team like Dangerfield to come in here and let us see that speed of the game. And so our guys, they definitely rose to the occasion in that second scrimmage and played a little faster. We're a little sharper on assignments, but still plenty of things we can clean up, and we're excited to keep polishing and perfecting things as we move forward.
Absolutely. And so now with moving forward, it's week one of the regular season. And as you guys prepare for First Baptist Academy, what is it about them that stands out to you, and what kind of challenge do they present as an opponent?
Oh, they present a tremendous challenge. There's no doubt about it. They're 3-time defending state champions in their division of TAPS, and so you don't achieve that without having a great culture. Coach LaWarren over there, their head coach, does a great job. They have tremendous culture. They play with fanatical effort, and they've got athletes on the field, and they have a winning culture. It's they expect to win when they step on the field, and so when you're going up against somebody that's won 3 state championships in a row, what a great opportunity in week 1 to kind of see where we're at and get a benchmark for us. And so just have all kind of respect for them and the program that they run. And so, we've got our work cut out for us. I think our guys are ready and excited for the test. And a lot of respect to them, and it'll be a good challenge for us.
Yeah. Josh, before we jump into the next question, me and you can look back, and of course he was part of that as well, but this is the same Dallas First Baptist Academy team that we played in the season opener last year. It was a home game, and that was honestly one of the best games of the season. It went down to the wire, and they ended up winning the game 42-35. But I mean, Grace took them down to the very end, and I'm just excited to get the opportunity to see that in action again.
Yeah, and Coach, if we're sitting here next week and we're having the conversation we want to be having about a great win opening week, what has to go well for the Cougars in order for you guys to play the type of game that you envision for them to play?
I think something we talk about a lot is when you play a team like First Baptist, they're going to make some plays and they're going to have some good things happen for them. And so emotionally, our guys need to remain steady in the boat. And what we're talking about is, when Jesus was in the boat with his disciples and the waves were crashing and the storm was coming, they were freaking out, and he's taking a nap. And so just to have the trust in our process, trust in the Lord, but trust in our process and the preparation that, hey, adversity happens. We remain steady in the boat emotionally. That means never get too high. We want to celebrate good things, absolutely, but we never get too high and never get too low. Every play has a life of its own. And so we line up and snap the ball. It's a 1-rep max out. And when that play's over, you line up and you start it over. And so every play's got a life of its own, and that's got to be the focus mentally. And really, we don't scoreboard watch in this program. That's not something we're going to be about. Like I said, we're just seeking to max out every moment, one play at a time. And so regardless what the scoreboard says, my hope and my expectation is that you're going to see a group of guys that are giving their absolute best effort. And again, to answer your question, for us to be successful, we're going to have to be sharp on assignments. And, most games are won or lost based on assignment and alignment. And then what happens between the whistles usually takes care of itself if you can get yourself ready pre-snap. So
Yep.
if we can control those things emotionally and mentally, I think that gives us a great opportunity to be successful.
Yes, sir. So, Coach, which players or maybe even position groups have really stepped up over the last couple of weeks, and kind of earned a spot of confidence from you?
Yeah, I would say we're returning 3 offensive linemen, and so we had a couple of spots to fill, and we've had a couple of guys that have stepped up and kind of taken on those roles. One's a senior, is going to be playing left guard. Braden Bryan goes by Bubba, and then the other at right tackle is going to be Braden Gregory, who of course missed most of last season with an injury, and he's back and better than ever, and those guys are doing a fantastic job. Matter of fact, our pass protection last week against an Athletic Dangerfield team was really good, especially for a second scrimmage. And so that was an exciting thing to see for sure, that we're shoring up the guys up front. And then I think another thing that could be surprising for people this year is we lost a lot of skill guys, and a lot of our production in the receiving core is gone from last year. But we have full confidence, and we knew what we had coming up, and we've got full confidence in guys like Christian Henry, Dylan Stinson, Coleman Swaim. Will be the first 3 you see out there. And then we've got depth, guys like Luke Burks and Josiah King, and there's Bowen Jenkins and Carson Talley and Jacob Pierce. And so we've got a lot of guys we trust to put on the field that know what to do. And so I think from the receiving core, we're not returning a lot of statistics from last year, but I think that's going to be a strong point of our team. And then, of course, I know I mentioned the whole offense here, but we've got a 2-headed running back attack that I think we can really lean on this year. And hopefully if we can control the line of scrimmage with that offensive line we mentioned and run the ball well, it's going to open up things in the passing game for some of those skill guys. And then, with a lot of our guys going both ways, defensively it's a lot of the same names. Andrew Gardner, middle linebacker, leading tackler coming back from last year. No one's going to be surprised by the positive effect he'll have on our team. And I think so far in practices and scrimmages, secondary assignment has been really sharp. And so I expect our secondary, we put an emphasis on takeaways. And I think our secondary has been doing that well in practices. In scrimmages, we've won the turnover battle in both scrimmages. And so we're going to continue to put a premium on that, and that secondary is going to be a huge piece of that. So,
Yeah, really excited about that. anytime you go from scrimmages to real games, this team's kind of unique because it's a big senior class, but there's still a lot of young guys on this team. First football game of the year on the road. It's going to be an exciting environment. What do you want to see from your guys emotionally and mentally as they step on that field for the first time? It's just a different set of nerves when the games count.
Sure, and man, that ties into what we said earlier about being steady in the boat.
Yeah.
And never getting too high or too low, regardless of what the scoreboard says. As you guys mentioned, we had a great performance in our game last year before we were kind of, our team got pretty injured last year, but second game of the year last year it was, and we had them on the ropes and we didn't finish. And so I think emotionally and mentally, when we feel the fatigue set in, can we battle the voice in our head that tells us to take the play off? Can we display the kind of effort that we've talked about since February, that when you're tired, you know what, your brother next to you is also tired. Instead of considering the needs of your own, consider more so the needs of others. Can you lift him up and get him going? And can we mentally, because really fatigue is more of a mental issue than a physical, believe it or not, can we mentally finish? And that's been something that we want to be our calling card this year. And then, like I said, mentally, if we get lined up right and we know what we're doing, that allows us to play really fast, and that's what we're going to need to do Friday to be successful. So I think being steady in the boat is going to be key, and then after that, knowing assignments, and then remembering, hey, if I'm tired, the guy next to me is probably tired. Let's go and get this together.
That's good stuff.
Yes, sir. So we're here. Some of you have waited all summer long. Some of you have been waiting since November of last year. But we've waited, and it's here. And so it's time to get ready to move on to football season. And so we're looking forward to Friday night. We will be there. Grace Game Day will be live. And so what we are hoping for is that, first of all, that my phone will stop vibrating uncontrollably, even though it's on Do Not Disturb. This is what happens when we're in the room.
We're back.
We're back. But we're looking forward to Friday night. And so listen, obviously, yes, we'll be live, and we want all the viewers that we can get. But more than viewers, we want people in the bleachers. And so Dallas is not that far away. It really isn't. We made further trips than that last year. It's not that far away. Get in the vehicle, make the trip to First Baptist Academy in Dallas, and let's be in there in the stands to cheer on the Grace Cougars. If you're not able to make it, we will be live. But as always, we prefer that you watch the game from the stands and then go back and watch the replay later. You can always go back and make fun of the crazy things that we say after the fact. But we're looking forward to it. Coach Fleet, thank you for your time, sir. We appreciate it. And we look forward to visiting with him each week throughout the duration of this football season. And Josh, it's good to be back.
Good to be back.
It's good to be back. Until Friday night.